Hello, my lovelies. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone is okay. We've had a busy old day. Busy old day. We finally got everything back on the shelves. Everything's back, all sorted, and all the stock's updated on the website, which is great. What else have we done? Lots of orders, which is good. I've also had we've started to have a bit of a sort out of the shop. And I've put loads and loads of bolt ends into the sale and clearance. I did do a quick live earlier, if anybody saw it, just to show you some of them and everything. So they're all in the shop, selling on the website. So you go to shop, selling clearance. I need to learn how to share my screen, really, don't I? And I could show you all this. You know, if you had, oh, thank you, lovely. I had it cut it. I literally left the shop and then went and had it cut. So it's very short again. My husband will hate it because he hates it when I go really short. But I quite like it short. I like it better once I've blow dried it myself, because I can make it. I make it right then. So, thank you. That's all very kind of you. Thanks, guys. Yeah, my husband. Phil hates it when my hair goes really short, but I like it short, so I felt like a change. It was getting in my way, and I was just like, "Oh, go for it, go on, cut it short." So we did. Thank you. Yeah, had that literally done. It's about an hour and a half ago I got home. So yeah, the bolt ends are in the sale and clearance section. There's loads and loads of bolt ends there at some really good prices. All beautiful fabrics. They're all like Michael Miller and all that sort of, so good names in the bolt ends. There are some 108s in there as well. So if you want much bigger pieces, either for borders or back ins, they're there as well. So just to let you know about that. What else? There was something else I was going to tell you. Oh, there are a couple of spaces left on April's retreat. There are still spaces on the Secret Sewing Club retreat in April. But we've also had some people move around today for the November retreats. So there are a couple of spaces come up in November on the first and the second one. Okay, so if you're on the first one and you want to do the double and do the second as well, you can. If you're on the second one and you want to do the double and do the first, yes, you can. Or if you've never done one of our retreats, there are spaces in April and literally 2 left in November. Two on the first one and 2 on the second one, because people have moved. So hair looks fun. Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, I literally left the shop at 4 o'clock and went straight into the hairdressers, and then took 3 phone calls. 3 phone calls while I was in the hairdresser trying to sort some work stuff out. And my poor hairdresser's having to work around me, and she's having to go at the side, and I have to move the phone to the other side. But thank you. It's very kind of you. I have had it this short before, but I had not for a long time. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go for it. Thank you. Ah, lovely. Your block will be in the post tomorrow. Lovely. Is that the group quilt one? Ooh, nice. If not, is it the Liberty one? I don't know. Let me know. We are out of the group quilt blocks. Have sold out now, I'm afraid. They sold out incredibly quickly. If you didn't get one, I'm so sorry. If anybody doesn't get a chance to do theirs and nearer the time, and we need people to do extra ones, I will shout those people who didn't get a chance first of all. But because of the order that I'm doing it in, not the order, the design that I'm doing it in, I needed a very specific number for this one. It wasn't one that I can just expand, unfortunately. So oh, thanks you guys. Oh, you're so sweet, all of you saying you like the hair. Thank you. I also now need to lose the weight again, because I've put on so much weight over Christmas, because I felt very do you know when you sit in the hairdressers, it's not the most flattering mirrors, is it? Because you've got your hair wet and it's all over the place. I'm just like, oh, I definitely need to lose the weight I put on. So that's my next goal now. I've chopped all the hair. Oh, that'll have lost a couple of pounds, won't it? When it's done on the scales. Lose the weight again. Right. What we're going to be doing today is, so if you're anything like me, you've got a lot of orphan blocks where you've had a practice and you don't know what to do with it. Or you've made too many blocks, or you've decided to make the quilt smaller or changed it or whatever, and you end up with blocks left over. Oh, thank you, lovely. Has the husband he hasn't noticed, love, because he's not here. He's in London. He works in London during the week, Lynn. So he won't be back till late tomorrow night. He normally goes back on either a Monday night or a Tuesday, and he works in London during the week, and then he'll be back tomorrow. So by the time he gets back, I will be fast asleep in bed, and he probably won't notice until Friday morning when I get up. And then he'd be like, "Oh, you've had it cut short again." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. It's my hair. I do what I want." He doesn't really care. He just prefers it when it's a bit longer, I think, but I don't care. Thank you, love Liz. Oh, it's really kind of you. Sorry, my voice is still going. I've just talked a lot. Surprise for me. I've talked a lot the last couple of weeks, so my voice is definitely going. So you'll have to apologise. What we're going to do tonight, get on with it, is adapt an orphan, I'm calling this, because I have a million orphan blocks, okay? So lots and lots and lots. These are not even a tenth of what I've got. I just started pulling out all the orphan blocks. Wonky stars that I've made. That's one of the side eyes. I think that's when I was working out the pattern. These were on a demo, a block of the week that I did. What's that? Part of a shadow quilt. Really cute. I can't even remember what that one was called. No idea. These have all been block of the weeks. You know, I've got blocks after blocks, tulip blocks, all sorts. Can't remember what that one's called. Oh look, I've got a little star there. All sorts. Hundreds and hundreds of orphan blocks. Now, if you're anything like me, so have you. You guys have got blocks too that you don't necessarily know what to do with. So I thought we'd do over the next couple of weeks. Doesn't he watch your lives? No, Maria, of course he doesn't. I do way too many of these. He used to watch them religiously, and he used to watch me on Create and Craft when I first started. But he doesn't anymore. He's just like, "Oh, love, you do it all the time. I don't need to watch every one." So blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. So what I thought we'd do over the next few weeks, not every Wednesday, I'll come back over here, not every Wednesday, but over the next few months, like every other or something, we'll adapt an orphan block into something else. What can you do with all these leftover fabrics that are pretty and you've put time and effort into them? Now, you could absolutely put all these together and make a quilt, make a scrappy quilt, lay them all out, move them all around until they all join up together and make a scrappy quilt. You could do that. I think Sarah was planning on doing that. A little bit like the Gypsy Wife quilt. If you look up Google Gypsy Wife quilt, it's beautiful. And you could absolutely do that with all of your blocks. But I'm never going to do that. They're going to sit in a box. So I thought, what can we do? And I've come up with about 12 different ideas of how to use up these blocks. So tonight we're going to do one of them. This is the plan. So this was one of the blocks that I had. I thought I actually had two of them, and I thought, what am I going to do with it? What I'm going to do with it, we're going to make some little fabric trays. Okay, we're going to make one of these. Okay, really useful. I genuinely have little trays like this all over the place. I've got one on my bathroom windowsill because I take my earrings and stuff out off, and I end up dumping them, and then every now and then I'll have a sort out and put it all away properly. I use them when I go, like I've got them on my craft desk, because when I'm going, where's that pen gone? I used to have these on my desk, because then they'd sit up there and I'd dump all the things that I was using straight away into them, and then I could put them away. So they are really useful. You can also, it doesn't matter what size your block is, they don't have to be trays, they can also be tall pots as well, and I'm going to show you that as we make them. We've done this sort of thing before, but I thought as a starting point, how to use up a block, let's do this. It wouldn't matter if it was that size, this size block, or if it's a little, that one's smaller. That's a smaller one. It would also work with that. It would work with big blocks. It would, all sorts. You could make them with these. These are only, what are these? 9.5-inch blocks. These are 12.5. It doesn't matter. This technique is exactly the same with this. Cheryl, what's that? You've practiced a group quilt block, and when you ironed around the circle, my drawn circle disappeared. Does this mean the key to getting a perfect finish is a perfect cut all the way around before you iron them back? Right, hang on, lovely. Hang on, I've got to read that again. So, and when you ironed around the circle, your drawn circle... Don't use a Frixion pen, love. Don't use a pencil. Use a pencil. So remember, you're going to draw around your freezer paper and put it on the wrong side of your fabric, okay? Draw around it, but don't use a Frixion pen. Don't use something that's going to disappear when you iron it. Do a pencil line and then pull off that freezer paper, and then you're going to clip round into it, okay? Does this mean the key to getting a perfect finish is a perfect cut all the way around before you iron them back? I'm not quite sure what you mean by perfect cut all the way around, because you're not going to cut on the circle line. You're cutting up to it so that it flaps back. Maybe go back to the video, lovely, and have another little have a little look at it. I think that's what you mean. I'm not sure, love. Jean, if you didn't have a block, you could still make a storage box just to cut. So absolutely, you can still make the box. Definitely. You could, if you don't have any Orphan blocks, just use fabric, scrappy fabric you've got there. These can be just 2 pieces of fabric. They don't have to be blocks at all. Okay. Like I said, these can be any size. However, the ones I had 2 of these, so I'm going to make a little pair of these little trays. They happen to be 12.5 inches, so I'm just going to give them a little press. I've cut, I did out of some old fat quarters I had, I've cut a backing fabric which is 12.5. If I'd have thought about it, I could have done back to back, couldn't I? And I could use 2 blocks in one, but that seems a little wasteful. I might as well use some of my stash up as well. So, but you could absolutely use 2 blocks in this, back and front then, rather than use up fabric. So I'm just going to give this an iron so it's nice and flat, first of all. Yeah, that makes it, cool. Cheryl, that's fab, lovely. You cut a 1/4 inch inside the line, needs to be a generous quarter. It's a bit tricky. I'm sure it'll be fine, lovely. I'm sure it'll be, Leslie, it'll be absolutely fine. See, from my backing fabric, I could have used one of these slightly bigger blocks, couldn't I? Instead of cutting a piece. And that would have used 2 blocks up instead of 1. But never mind. Right. Whatever size your piece of fabric is, you're going to cut yourself another piece of fabric. Okay, so mine are 12.5. I'm going to pop that back in fabric then. Right, so this is the wrong side of the fabric. Excuse me, I'm going to have to take some water. The wrong side of the fabric to the wadding. And we're just going to spray base this down. Okay, like that. Again, this is a good way, Frankenstein your wadding. Use up all your little bits of wadding as well. This piece isn't, it just happened to be big enough. But if you haven't got a big enough piece, just Frankenstein it together, zigzag some pieces together, because it won't matter on a little tray like this if it's not one piece. Hey Lindy Lou, how are you, my darling? Right, sorry, excuse me. And then we're going to put them right sides together, and we're just going to bag it out. So I'm literally going to line up the edges like that. I'm going to pop some pins in just to hold it together, and we're going to stitch all the way around, but leaving a little gap for turning. Okay, so like that. And all I'm going to do is just make sure I leave a little gap for turning. So I'm just going to leave a gap here. It doesn't need to be big. 3 inches, 3-4 inches gap. It's, yeah, just a gap. Whatever you guys think. Over to here, and then I've upped my stitch length a little bit because I'm obviously going through wadding, and we're just going to stitch all the way around. Again, I've got my 1/4 inch foot on, that's what I'm using, but if you use your normal foot, that's fine too. These aren't meant to be a specific size, so they can be whatever size you want them to be. There we go, all the way down this one, like that. So how have you all been? Have you all had a little go at the group block yet, or are you all still in practice mode? Remember, you've got till March the 15th to get the blocks to us if you want it to go into Malvern. I must do the form tomorrow, actually. That's something I meant to do today, and frankly we ran out of time. So we had to move Daphne and a load of stuff around because we are actually getting new fire doors put in. So we don't have fire in the shop at the moment. The front of the shop is all perfectly safe, but the back of the shop, where the little office and storagey bit and everything is there's like a roller shutter thing with doors behind it. And for 10 years, the fire safety officer has been coming around saying, "Wow, that's not legal. You're not supposed to have that." We've been trying to get the council who own the building to get them changed. 10 years. 10 years we've been waiting, and they're finally coming. Oh, that gap's okay. That's a teeny tiny gap, but I'm going to make it work. Here we go. 10 years. 10 years we've been waiting to have these doors replaced, and they're finally coming tomorrow to do it. So, sorry, Lindy Lou, it's going to be a bit cold in the shop tomorrow. Make sure you got your thermals on. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim away all that excess wadding. Okay. Eileen, not yet. You haven't decided what to put in the middle. I hope Daphne is okay. Daphne is fine. She reacted very well to being moved. She was okay. She behaved herself. Liz, you had a go and it turned out better than you expected. Brilliant. It's actually a really easy little technique, that circle technique for the group quilt. Don't worry about it too much, guys. If you are having a go at it, don't overly panic about it. You'll need more time to decide what you're putting in the circle, no doubt. Hi Claire, how are you? Lovely. Right, those bits are going in the bin. And then, what did I do with the turning gap? Because it's really teeny tiny. Oh, I can just about get it out there. Clip your corners. Okay. That's because I was talking and not concentrating. Clip my corners. And then, where's that turning gap gone? I've lost it again. It's so small, I can't even find it now. There it is, on this side. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're just going to turn through that gap. That's not going through there. I'm going to have to unpick that a little bit. That is not going through there. It was me being... That's like 1.5 inches. That's me being way too optimistic. There we go. That's better. Carol... your practice block was okay. Can we send them in early? And is it all right to fold them? Yes, of course you can send them in as soon as they're ready. That's absolutely fine. Please do. In fact, you don't have to wait to the last minute. The quicker I get them all in, the better. And it's absolutely fine to fold them as well. There we go. Right, so pulling this all right side out, and then I need to iron this. So trusty... What's the word? What's this? Knitting needle. Oh my god, I can't find my words tonight. Sorry guys, it's been rubbish. Claire, you've received your group quilt pack yesterday. Really? Oh my goodness, that's really late that they're sending them. I know we send them all second class to save a little bit on postage, but good grief. That's taken, what, nearly a week to get to you? Right. Carefully pushing out those corners. Like that. Oh, excuse me. Linda won't have seen my hair yet. No, she won't. No, she's going to have to wait till the end now. Right, Linda's seen my hair like this before anyway. It's she's seen it shorter than this. Right, I'm going to give that a good press. I've just turned in that turning gap now. Like that. Give it a good press. And then we're going to top stitch all the way round. Okay. There we go. Like that. All the way down this side. I'm just rolling that seam, making sure. Oh, I'm proper titivating this week because I'm having my nails redone tomorrow as well. because I lost most of them in Newark, so Meg's gonna have to save my nails tomorrow for me. You thought it got lost, but luckily it arrived. Yeah, it's yeah, I'm surprised they've taken so long. The Royal Mail's obviously on a go slow at the moment. Okay, right. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to top stitch all the way round, and what that'll do is close up that little gap, the turning gap as well. Okay, so literally 1/8 of an inch, a little bit less than that, all the way round. It's pretty. It is pretty. Like I said, this is quite old now. We had it in the shop. It was a Macawa fabric, and we obviously did block of the week or something with it. But I've got all these blocks lying around, and I might as well use them and make something with them. So top stitch first, all the way around. And like I've said to you before, when you've bagged something out, when you come to a corner, don't just pivot straight away. It's a much nicer finish if you come down and then sort of just do a couple of stitches across the corner at an angle and then turn. The top stitching just looks better, and it doesn't sort of like crumple up as much either. Again, I've got my stitch length up because you're technically quilting at this point, because you've got wad in and back in and a top. So make sure you've got your stitch length up. Liz, you had a practice for what you put in the centre. It was okayish, but your iron spewed black stuff on it. Oh no, that's not fun, hun. I hate when that happens. I'm actually considering buying an iron that the boys aren't allowed to use, because they keep putting water in the iron, and that's when all like you get the black and the brown spots when you turn the steam off. Very often that's when it happens, is you get those horrible, you know, it'll spit something out. So I was only saying to my husband the other day, I might just buy an iron and keep it in here, and the boys can have the iron out, you know, the iron with the steam in out there, and I'm just going to keep a whole other iron in here. I'm glad you've all got them. They've obviously just taken a little while. They all went out the day you ordered them. It's just obviously because we did them second class, it's taken a little longer than normal. There we go. Right, all the way round. The other thing I'm going to do as well is I'm just going to put a little bit of quilting in the centre. So I'm just going to go round this square as well. I'm just going to shadow quilt just to give that a bit more stability as well. So I'm going to come down like that. Around that too. You could put lots of quilting in this if you wanted to. I mean, they'd make placemats, you know. It's another reason you don't have to have matching placemats. Have all different placemats, or pot holders, or mats for plant pots and on your windowsills to protect your windowsills so when you water. In fact, there you go. There's a question, guys. What would you suggest? I've got some ideas for all these different orphan blocks, but what would you make with an orphan block? Because you will have thought of things that I won't have. So, what colour thread am I using? I'm using a very, very pale grey. I use it for almost everything, to be honest. I've got another one here, actually. Where is it? There it is there. So I'm using, so either the moon thread, which is colour 0245, or Orphan, which is colour 2600. That's the two there. Project wallets, yeah, that would be really good. These make great project wallets, and I love a project wallet. Right, move it back over to here. There we go. Give that another quick little press. So, you know, I mean, that's a placemat in its own right, isn't it? You know, that doesn't have to be anything more than what it is. You know, it could just be a placemat. However, we are going to turn this into one of these little fabric trays. And this is where you can play. This is where you can play around with stuff, okay? And how, let me just get those threads. How tall you want the sides to be. Sorry, talking. How tall you want the sides to be, how deep you want it to be and stuff. How the measurement that we're going to do now depends on how big the sides are. Okay, so I'll show you. First thing you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half. So I want, because it's going to be more of a tray, I want to see the block, okay? Otherwise, it would be on the back, and all I'd really see is the backing fabric. So you could do them that way if you wanted to, okay? But you're not really going to see the block then, okay? Soup bowl cozy, that would be good. Block keepers, tote bag, used orphan blocks in your G's bag, perfect. Makeup bags, yeah, these are all good ideas. We'll do some of these, okay? Because I've got so many blocks to go through, so I'll come up with different ways of using them. First things first, fold it on the diagonal like that, okay? So that the inside fabric is on the inside. I'm going to pin this to start with so that you can see the difference, okay? And what measurements you can do. So if I measure in from this point here, actually, let me just come to the overhead a second, the close-up. If I measure in 1.5 inches like that and draw a line like that, I'm going to just pin on that line for now. Ow! Don't pin your finger. That's end. And then do the same on this end. Okay, so measure in 1.5 inches. So 1.5 inches from, oh, I'm dropping stuff. 1.5 inches from the point. Okay, draw a line down and pin there. Okay, so I'm going to pin this like I've sewn it. And then you're going to open it out, and we're going to do it the other way. So like that. Get that point on the corner. Measure in 1.5 inches like that, and line. Okay, these are the sizes that I did for the first little tray that I did. Okay, 1.5 inches there, like that. Whoop! Throwing my pins everywhere as well, like that. Okay, so pretend I've sewn that one. When you open it out, that gives you, now it doesn't look great at the moment because it's just pinned, but that gives you that lovely shallow tray, okay, like that. However, you might want something with deeper sides. So what you're going to do is you're just going to make these bits bigger, okay? So say I did them at it's roughly 1 inch, 2.5 inches, which is going to be there to there. Right, let's put a pin there, hang on. You're going to have to bear with me because I'm going to pin it so I can show you the difference. Experiment with the sizes, because I think these, if you made them tall and thin and had this on the outside, they'd make lovely presents for like Mother's Day, because you could put a pot plant in there and they'd be like a pot plant holder, a cover, you know, like that. So if I do that, can you see that immediately that then becomes taller, okay, like that. You've got a much deeper tray then. If you don't want these pieces like here on the deeper ones, you can flatten these out like that, okay? And you've got a really nice deeper tray then. You could go even further and you could make pots. So if we did it this way, sorry, I'm being a bit of a pain now. Storage of blocks when you're making a quilt. I think they're called block keepers. Yeah, we've got a block keeper pattern actually. Block keeper patterns. Eileen, if you look up, if I got one here, I might have one here somewhere. If you look up on the website, Liberty Block Keeper. Okay, say I went in that far. Hang on. I'm just trying to work out. Sorry, I'm being a bit experimental now. Say we went in, let's go in 4 inches a second. Okay, let's just see how much that would, I just put that at the top there. Oh no, I wanted this the other way, didn't I, for the outside. Don't like that. Sorry, I'm being experimental, you have to bear with me a second. Let's go in 4 inches and see how much that brings it up. So that side and that side. I think you could sit a pot plant in these then. Let me just pin this. Maybe 4 is too much on this size block. If you had a bigger block it might work. Let me just, oh no, I think this might work. It's going to look crazy because I'm not actually sewing it, but hopefully this gives you an idea. Okay, so you could then put those flat. So once you've sewn that up like that, this would go flat and you could just stitch into there. And actually that would sit a plant pot. You could sit a nice plant pot in there, or all sorts, scissors and things. But I actually think as a pretty plant, you know, like a bowl cozy for a house plant would work. You could put that in there, okay? And like I said, with these corner bits, when they look crazy like that, you just flatten them like that, so that you get these lovely like fans going up the side. You can do this up the sides, and they look really, really cute. Anyway, we're going to go back to the tray. Play around with the sizings is what I'm saying. If you've got orphan blocks there, play around with the sizings and decide what you're going to do. Right, let's find that again. Nope, that's that way. There we go. The marks I've already made. So we're going to go back to this way just for now to do the tray. Did I just completely confuse the issue by talking all that nonsense with the sizings? I hope probably. So folded in half. I've done 1.5 inches in from each point. Okay, we're going to stitch those down because we're going to make, this is a tray, this one, but what I'm trying to say is just play with your sizings. Do these two first. So over this way, like that, and remember you've got a bigger bigger stitch because you're quilting all the way through there, and just stitch down the line. It's good to have options. Yeah, sorry, my brain just started thinking out loud about what else I could do, and I almost forgot I was live for a second. I was just like, oh, what about this and what about that? There we go. Back down that way. Okay. And then you would refold it like that way, so you've got the lines to follow this side, okay, that we marked. So these were the 1.5 inch lines. And it does depend on that. This size and this measurement will depend on what size block you've got. Because if I was to do this measurement on those smaller 9-inch blocks, it wouldn't be a tray, it would be more of a pot. You know, so think about pinning it first and just working out what size you want it to be. Okay, like that. There we go. Right, well, it's done now basically. So I've just got to trim off all the bits. So I'm just going to take those pins out, and then if you just pop your finger like down into the corner like that, and give it a good manipulate, you've got a really lovely little tray. Okay, put a few random blocks together and make a funky tote bag. Yeah, absolutely, that would be great. Yeah, that's a really good idea. You know, that's, maybe we'll do one of those. What I'll do is I'm going to look back over your ideas and have a look through mine, and like I said, use up some of these blocks rather than always using new fabric, as pretty as the new fabric is. You know, actually there's pretty things here I could be using. So that's my one little tray. However, you can then go another step if you want to, and you can stitch along here. Okay, so this is where the wings are. Okay, you've got your top edge here. You can, if you want to, stitch along here as well, and you would stitch from this point here to this point here, and what that does is give it like almost like a piped base. Should we do that on this one? Yeah, we've got time. I can quickly do that on this one. Let me show you what I mean. So, liked how you did the different corners. Yeah, so with the bigger ones, I mean, there's no need to on this one, but on the bigger ones, you can absolutely, you could, if you wanted to, put those flat so they sort of sit like that. You know, you could do that with them, which again actually gives them a bit of stability. You would need to just do a little hand stitch here and here. I don't think you'd get the machine through that because it's really thick. Can you see what I mean here? So I've just pushed that flat and then folded that back over. These are small. On the bigger ones it works a lot better, and then just hand stitch here and here, and what that would do is give you a little really sort of like neat little edge to the corner. But you can do the piping bit as well. So if I just show you how to do that, we're going to go flat like that. So lie it out flat, so these lines are parallel, and you're just going to stitch. You're going to top stitch along this bottom bit. I'll show you on one of them, okay? So I've laid it out flat like that. I'm going to start at the corner. You don't want to stitch into this bit here, okay? Because then it won't stand up. But what's going on? There we go. I've got the wrong bit. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do, like that. So you're going to start at the corner line there. Again, you only want about 1/8 of an inch, and you're going to work your way all the way down and stop at the other stitch line. Like that. Make sure it's all nice and flat and you're staying neat. There we go, like that. And what this does is give you, and I'm stopping where this line of the stitching of the corner is, I'm stopping as I meet that, okay? You don't want to go over it because you will ruin the corner. Could use cam snaps instead of sewing the corners. Ooh, you could. Absolutely you could. That would be a good idea, Jean. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, instead of stitching down, you could put a cam snap there, which would allow you to unsnap it and roll it up and take it with you to classes and stuff. But can you see, by doing that little line of stitching from corner to corner, it gives it kind of a more of a structure on the base, and you would work your way round and do that all the way round, which gives you, can you see, like a base piece then. So play around with them. You know, it's an orphan block. What's the worst that can happen? You could sew a button on the folded quilt. Oh, you could, Louise. That would work, wouldn't it? If you put a button on there, that would be really cute too. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, play around with them. Play around with the sizes. I'll finish these ones off, okay? I'll finish these ones off. Oh, shall I give them away? Should I give these 2 away? Could do them as a little pair, couldn't I? I will finish them off and I'll give these away. I'll put a challenge post up. Should I put a challenge post up? No, because that's normally for something. Right. If you would like to win these 2 little trays, okay, just comment tray. And this time tomorrow, I will go back through. There we go. Hi. If you'd like to win the little trays, just comment tray and I'll give you 24 hours, and then I'll go back through from everybody that commented tray on this video, okay? And then I'll pick a winner out of the hat, okay? But I'll finish them off. I'll do the beaded corner on all of them and finish them off, okay? And then you can win them, all right? So if anybody'd like to win one, you might not want them, but if you do, just say tray and oh, there you go. There you are. You're all off. And I will, in 24 hours, I'll go through and put all your names in a hat, and then I'll let one of you know, okay? I won't do it as a separate post. That's a real pain in the bum. So, yeah, so we'll just do it on here. And then anybody who watches this tomorrow has got a chance as well then, haven't they? Your hair looks lovely. Thank you, lovely. It is very, very short, and it's a little bit flat. I need to get some oomph into it. It's a little bit too... what's the word? Coiffured at the moment. I like it a bit messier, so it'll be fine. Maria, asking for a friend, how did the other lady attach her card to the Liberty block? Oh, the little card bit, you don't need to attach it. I would just put the block and the card back in the little package or in a bag and send it in, lovely. Yeah. Can I say it makes you look younger? Yes, you can, darling. You can always tell me I look younger. That's absolutely fine. You were trained in a sew-along. You were, absolutely. In the sew-along. Oh, from the charity thing. Yes, you really were. I will finish these off in a moment. And then tomorrow night, I'm not going to be going live tomorrow, but tomorrow night I will post the winner. I'll just message in here, this video, who's the winner, okay? I promise I will do you in a random generator and stuff, and somebody can win them. Cool. Right, that's it, my lovelies. I won't see you tomorrow. Sarah will see you tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow. I got the boys. I got my littles for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. No, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday morning I can give them back. Rory and Cara are off to Prague for a few days to have some baby free time, kid free time. So We've got the kids, so I'm going to be knackered by Tuesday. But I will. Sarah's here tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and I will be back next Tuesday. And I'll see you real soon, guys. I'm going to go and get some tea. Hopefully you had a nice evening, and I'll see you next week. Bye.